The Horse and the Groom. In a bustling stable, bathed in the golden glow of a sunlit morning, lived a magnificent horse named Sterling. His coat was as dark as midnight, and his mane and tail flowed like silken ribbons. Sterling adored his groom, Barnaby, who spent countless hours each day brushing his fur until it shimmered. Barnaby was known throughout the countryside for his exceptional care of horses. He would gently brush every inch of Sterling's magnificent coat, ensuring not a single hair was out of place. Sterling reveled in this attention, knowing he was the most handsome horse in the stable. But Barnaby harbored a small, unsettling secret. Each night, long after the stable had fallen silent and everyone else was asleep, he would creep towards the feed room. His heart would pound like a drum, and his hands would tremble slightly with a mix of fear and excitement. He would carefully scoop a portion of Sterling's oats from the large wooden barrel, hiding it away in a small cloth bag. Barnaby dreamt of buying a pair of shiny new boots, and he convinced himself these stolen oats would help him achieve his dream. At first, Sterling didn't notice any difference. He still felt strong and full of boundless energy. He loved to gallop across the wide-open paddock, feeling the wind whip through his majestic mane. But as the days turned into weeks, Barnaby's greed grew, and he began to take more and more of Sterling's precious oats. Sterling started to feel a strange weariness creeping into his bones. His gallop wasn't as swift, and his jumps weren't as high. Mr. Henderson, the kind-hearted stable owner, was an observant old man. He began to notice the subtle changes in Sterling. He would often frown thoughtfully as he watched the horse, then cast a quick, questioning glance towards Barnaby. "Barnaby," Mr. Henderson inquired one afternoon, his voice gentle but firm. "Sterling hasn't seemed himself lately. Is he feeling unwell?" Barnaby, feigning deep concern, shook his head slowly. "No, sir," Barnaby replied, his voice a little too quick. "He's just been a bit lazy, I think. I groom him for hours every day, but he just doesn't seem to have his usual spirit." A flicker of guilt crossed his face, but he quickly hid it. Sterling overheard their conversation from his stall, and a wave of deep frustration washed over him. He desperately wanted to tell Mr. Henderson the truth, to explain what was happening, but all he could manage were soft whinnies and gentle snorts. His once lustrous coat began to lose its sheen, becoming dull and rough to the touch. The vibrant sparkle that used to dance in his eyes was replaced by a weary, distant gaze. He felt weaker with each passing day. Barnaby continued to spend long hours grooming Sterling every day. He believed that as long as Sterling looked clean and tidy on the outside, no one would notice his steadily weakening body. He polished the horse's hooves and brushed his mane, trying to hide the truth. But Sterling knew exactly what the problem was. He needed oats. He needed proper food to regain his strength and health. His stomach rumbled with a constant, hollow ache, and his muscles felt like jelly. One afternoon, as Barnaby was meticulously brushing his flank, Sterling simply couldn't bear it any longer. A surge of weakness, mixed with a powerful wave of indignation, washed over him. He had to make Barnaby understand. Sterling took a deep, shaky breath, and then, to Barnaby's utter astonishment, he spoke. "Barnaby!" Sterling's voice was deep and clear, echoing with an unexpected resonance through the quiet stable. Barnaby gasped and leaped back, his heart hammering against his ribs. He had never, in all his life, heard a horse speak. He rubbed his eyes vigorously, convinced he must be dreaming, or perhaps had finally worked too many long hours. "If you truly wish for me to look sleek and well," Sterling continued, his voice filled with weary but firm power, "you must comb me less and feed me more." His words hung in the air, undeniable and true. Barnaby's face drained of all color. He knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that Sterling spoke the absolute truth. A searing wave of shame, hot and heavy, washed over him, making his ears burn. He realized, with a crushing weight of regret, that all his meticulous grooming could never make up for the harm he had caused by stealing Sterling's food. He had been so wrong, so terribly wrong, blinded by his own selfish desires. From that day forward, Barnaby was a changed man. He stopped his nightly thefts. He made sure Sterling received not only his full allowance of oats, but also extra carrots and juicy apples as special treats. Sterling's coat once again gleamed with a magnificent shine, and the lively sparkle returned to his eyes. He galloped robustly in the paddock, filled with renewed strength and boundless joy, a true picture of health. Barnaby had learned a crucial lesson. True care came from within, from genuine kindness and honesty, not just from outward appearances. And Sterling, once again, became the happiest and healthiest horse in the entire stable. The end. This story is adapted from Aesop's Fables. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. youtube.com/@cuckooenglish